So trying to do this AC relay, and I bought this one off eBay, of course. Should have just bought it off Pelican or whatever, because this one was dead. So that was pretty annoying waiting for that. I've isolated it to that resistor 1N. This is a spare DME relay I have. I've got a few of them, and I have a static or solid state DME installed right now, so I just keep a backup in my glove box. But 1N resistor, so I'm going to take that off of this board, put it on the AC one, make sure she clicks, hopefully we'll be good to go. So a bit of a mess here as always at the Wilson garage. So I got a bit of a mess here as usual. I am tackling this running hot issue, which seems to be fairly common. Got the fans back out. I purchased a new thermostat here. This one's 160 degrees. So I'm going to drop that in there because what I want to have happen, the thermo fan switch it turns on at 195 and it turns back off at 175. So the issue I was having was the thermostat was rated at the same temp. So the thermostat wasn't opening until the engine was already at 195 degrees. And then when it would open, it would come through the cooling system. But this fan switch hadn't triggered on yet because this temperature inside the cooling system was cooler than the block temperature. So that's allowing the head to heat up exponentially before this has time to catch up and throw those fans on. So I was getting around 3/4 of the way and just passing the 3/4 mark on the temp gauge. And then I was throwing on the air conditioner to turn the fans on, and then that was keeping it right at like 3/4. So what I want to do is open the thermostat earlier, so then it's circulating the temp, so then right when this hits 195, fans are coming on, and I'm thinking that will alleviate some of the distress, but again, we'll see. Eventually, sometime down the road, I'll probably just swap in an aluminum core radiator. But for now, that's what we're going to do. By the way, see if my flashlight still has any juice. I put in that 190 degree thermostat when I installed the new water pump. This is a much more difficult task. So if you're doing the water pump and you do the thermostat at the same time, my recommendation is to make sure the circlip, the locking ring, is facing up when you install it. So that way, if you ever have to change this out or whatever before you do the water pump again, you can come in from the bottom here, because I don't have a power steering pump, so it's not in my way. You can come in from the bottom here with your ring pliers and be able to reach across that and get them quite a bit easier than the fight I had in getting that off. So just a little tidbit there. It's like we're getting ready I'm going to start the car and do the infamous bleed job on this. I was filling it up, and then I have a pump. The vacuum portion of this doesn't really work that well because the lid that connects to the radiator, the one that's the right size for it, it leaks. So this is just a cheap Amazon pressure tester, coolant system tester. It works for the most part, but the hand pump works okay. So I was just pumping it up to around 9 or 10 psi. It was leaking out around the top of the cap a bit, but I was able to shove the fluid down through the tank, and then I was releasing this to let air out, and now I'm just getting steady stream of coolant out of here. So I'm just going to start it up, let it run, get up to operating temp, Then I'll open and close this here and there with that open, and I'll add coolant as I need to. So yeah, we shall see how this goes. Well, this has been running about a half hour and hasn't even reached the halfway mark. Oil pressure is right around 3 bar, where it should be. I bled it. Now it's just got fluid coming out. Got hot air coming through the vent. I need to mess with the fuel sending unit to see why that's not working. And then, yeah, I got an alternator coming because I fried that magnetic field on mine, so it doesn't charge that much anymore. Their charge is very low. It'll charge if nothing auxiliary is running on it. But I'm gonna let this run for, I don't know, another 15 minutes or so. We'll just see how she does. But man, purring away, boys. Purring away. Even the hood light works. Magnesium switch, or mercury switch, I think. It's pretty cool. I just saw a mouse run into my garage. All right, so what I'm gonna do now is I'm going to clean this out, and I'm gonna get in there to the fuel sending unit and see what's going on with that. See why it's not working. When I had it out originally, it looked like it worked, so I don't know if it's just a little gunked up and it's just not traveling, but I'm not getting any signal to the dash, so it could be a bad ground as well. But yeah, I'm gonna tackle that. I'm not gonna put that on this video because honestly it's just a gauge. So I probably need a new oil sending unit as well, because the light doesn't come on the dash, but I get oil pressure on the gauge. That's usually what that means. But yeah, waiting on tires, which is unfortunate. This thing sat for so long. All these tires looks like they were just replaced. I mean, you can still see the wear tab way down in there, but just cracked. So it's too bad. It obviously sat for a long time. This one didn't hold air. That one holds air, surprisingly. But I'm gonna throw some shocks in the back and clean her up a little. Look at that interior, boys and gals, or whoever watches this. She is looking mint, in my opinion. And I got black floor mats coming because even though they won't match, I don't really care. I don't like how much dirt is shown on these. So I might clean them up and put them on eBay for pretty cheap. But yeah. And then I got to install that Bluetooth radio because you can't drive around without 80s tunes rocking. All right. Finally getting this stuff cleaned up. Oh, there is one thing I have to do. Finish up is I have to finish mounting the manual steering rack. These tie rod ends that I have on here are way too long. I have another set that's about a quarter of the size of those, so I'm going to throw those on and just make sure they fit. But I don't know why. I think I just ordered the wrong. They're supposed to be off of 80s Toyota Camry, and I think I ordered 90s Toyota Camry, so I don't know if there was that big of a difference, but it appears that there was. Things that still don't work under the hood. I mean, this is just falling apart, so I'll probably get a kit for that. Replace all these lines, because they're pretty crunchy. I have no idea if the nozzles still work or not, but we will take care of that another day. The pump doesn't appear to come on at all. so I'm guessing it's just fried. But that's okay. Still holding fuel pressure. I'm pretty happy today. Especially if you guys have watched all the videos here. I got this thing December 17th. December 17th? Yeah, December 17th, this car rolled into my garage and didn't run at all. Didn't start, wouldn't turn over. Nothing was hooked up. Everything was unhooked. The dampener plate was smoked. Fuel pump didn't work. The interior was trashed. And so today's April 20th, 420 for those of you out there that enjoy that. Not for me, but whatever. I feel like I've accomplished a lot in a couple of months here, so I still gotta pick that up. That thing gets hot as hell. So I need to mount it so it's close to where the air is here so that the air pulls across it. Something like that. So the air pulls across it and cools it down. This is how that's supposed to work. Anyway, I feel like we've done a lot in a little bit amount of time. A lot of that is thanks to a lot of the people that have bought one of these before me and have taken the time to document every inch of it. I was never going to do how-to videos on this at all. It's more like just a progress report, just so I can kind of remember the process as well and kind of reappreciate this car all the time. But yeah, I'm just going to keep plugging away here little by little. I'm so close to being able to drive it right now that I don't know. I feel pretty good about things. We'll see. We'll see if that holds true. The transmission is pumping fluid. It turns the tires. It is such a pain in the ass to top off the fluid in that. And I'm not even 100%. I'm going to have to search for a video on that too because it doesn't 100% make sense to me. Funny thing. So when I first looked at this, that says minimum and maximum. I thought you filled it to here and filled it to there. So the first time I filled it up to here, and the line's actually down here, and this line's actually just a ridge. So if I have it filled to here, when it heats up, it'll get pretty close to the max line. So mine likes to be down here. I saw online that everyone else says that it's just kind of car dependent. But yeah, I got a few things. I got to make a mount for the AMF. My box was broken, so it's over there, and I didn't like the filter, but I just thought this would be easier to maintenance. And plus, if I go to a standalone ECU at some point, I'll be getting rid of this anyway. So it works great for now. So I'm going to keep rocking it while I can. But once I can get this thing outside on 4 wheels, which I have tires coming this week, I'll dink around with a lot more of the engine bay, cleaning it up, probably power wash the whole thing. And then my luck, nothing will probably work after I power wash it, but it is what it is. So yeah, that's where we're at. Thanks for following along, and I'm going to keep just posting videos here and there, little things I do, dinking around with this and cleaning it up, and especially when I start doing the body work and paint on this guy. I'm not going to put these back on. They're insanely priced, even for used ones. I had like 1.5 of them, and I was just took some guitar string and took them off. This is going to be a nightmare to clean off, but we'll get her. Probably have to sand it down really far and then put like a glazing putty over it to just get rid of that line altogether. Gonna have to plug this hole. Gonna have to somebody come and take a look at this and see what's gonna happen here, and then this bad boy. So yeah, I got it too, fellas and girls. I got the gap. So I'm gonna have to pull this off. I'm pretty sure the glass is supposed to be inside here. That's the way it looks. or this thing is just pulled away. But I think this part is what's pulled away, just the top part, because the underside still looks like it's where it's supposed to be. Or maybe the whole thing's shifted, but I can see like the factory putty now in here, and I doubt, I'm pretty sure when Porsche did this, this would have been all covered up. So that's about the same depth, should be under here, and it's not. So when I put a new weather stripping on and tried to close this, it wouldn't close. It literally just bound up on this, and it made kind of a screeching noise and terrified me because I don't want to break this piece of glass, because if it breaks, we're probably not going to get a new one. We're probably just going to get that fiberglass looking thing. I'd rather have the glass. So probably going to pull this off at some point and redo it. It didn't look like, honestly, that hard of a job. And I've watched plenty of other people's successes and failures on doing it. So that's what we're going to do. I'm not doing that today. Fuel pump sending unit, and then maybe because I'm just excited to be in this car, I think today I'm going to wire up that radio. Alright, fuel sending unit is sorted out. Now I'm going to play around with stereo. Did not love the look of the inside of that tank. Quite a bit of surface rust. It was pretty bad when I first got it because there just wasn't any fuel in there, and some moisture must have gotten in there through one of the rotted out hoses that I replaced. But it's got a new strainer, it's got a brand new filter on there. Yeah, we'll see. There's not gonna be any big flakes of anything getting up into the fuel pump at least, but she's not pretty. And when I had the transaxle out, I probably should have just dropped the tank and did a real clean on it, but I was lazy, and that will probably come back to haunt me. But oh well. Sending unit works fine. I took it out, I tipped it and let it slide, and I just watched the gauge climb. So she's working good. There's just not really a lot of gas in there. So I should probably go get a bunch of gas and fill this thing all the way up so it leaks everywhere. Just kidding. I replaced all the hoses, so she's not leaking unless there's some type of a pinhole in the tank that I didn't know about, which there could be on the top. I don't know. Anyways, that's that. Now to do the radio. All right, got kind of a lot done today. Car's running great. It's not overheating. Really pumped about that. Also, got this VDO Continental installed. I went with the orange instead of the blue display because I just thought that it might blend better.
Not well adapted yet to working in an office with others, and I haven't. Yeah, I know I can do it on my own, but I want that real full moon black magic and it takes two.
So that's pretty impressive. This has Bluetooth, and it looks kind of like sort of period correct. Not a lot going on, not a lot of flashy stuff, which is what I wanted. It does do hands-free calling, and the mic on it's pretty good. So yeah, I like it. I think that's gonna be exactly what we need. Haven't even taken it on a test drive yet, but have the radio installed. So that actually wasn't that hard finding all the wiring. I can't believe these 40-year-old speakers still work and sound pretty decent. I'm going to replace the front ones anyway, but the back ones sound good enough that I'm not going to mess with it for now. And yeah, so pretty good Porsche day.